Hello, fellow Xlanders. It is Thank Me Later here on our first UPX World live Twitch stream. Thank you for those who have found our new channel. We are starting fresh, and so I am excited to share some new stuff with you. today's background, if you'll notice here, this is actually by T.Y. Joe Roll. So thank you very much, T.Y. Ooh. Low Mars Buggy, Humble Life in the House, DYTZ. Thank you all for tuning in today. So we have one more day of the boarding process left. So I hope everyone has boarded that wants to board. And that is why you have to be careful how you open up your Twitch stream, because you will get that awesome echo. So good job, me. Sorry about that, fam. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what's coming up this week. So we saw a little bit of the preview from the weekly debrief. And so what is, yeah, sorry about that. Let's see, is this the dashboard? Here we go. Sorry, I'm still switching everything over so that way I can make sure that I have everything that I need here. Very cool. Got it. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what's happening this week. We're going to see a couple big contracts launch. So I am going to put out the first gaming contract for kind of the foundational game. I'll loosely outline kind of the roadmap. Let me grab my paper here on what we're planning on doing as far as some of the upcoming release times and dates. These are tentative to say the least, but I know that there has been a lot of questions on like, well, what is the actual timeline for what's happening? So let's address that. So the first piece, which obviously the underlying core data structure is going to be very important. We need to pull a lot of the data from Upland. That is going to be the foundation, not just for the data site, which is still going to be very important, but for actually rendering the world. So when we talk about, how are we actually creating UpX World? It'll be a Unity-based game, and the environment will be Upland. So follow me on this. So what we do is we have essentially our database will have all of the information from properties, buildings, decor, everything. It's a massive undertaking. And huge shout out to Grom Brindle, who is heading up that for us. So he is absolutely very talented. You might know him as the winner of the hackathon as part of that team. And so he is actually helping build that, the backend database and data structure. And with the property data that we're going to have, so we'll have all the Polygon. They're called GeoJSON. So some of these streams are going to get kind of technical because I think like that's important for the community who wants to get into it. And we are also going to have some live dev streams coming up, both from like the actual database development, which may or may not be super interesting. It is to me, and if you're a data nerd, we're going to have live streams with hopefully some of the game developers will come on and we'll be able to live demo. In fact, I was talking to somebody, we might even just have some Unity learning streams. So there's a couple people in the community that are working on learning Unity themselves. So we might even have some co-learning sessions where we just get in here and start trying to play around with Unity to build what we need to build. But the core concept is we get all that data. There's a piece that's called a GeoJSON object. And what that is essentially the coordinates of the property boundaries, as well as the detailed data on where the structures and other items on that property go. So once we have the database with all of that populated, we'll be able to import that in using open source like Mapbox is probably what we're going to use initially. And the Mapbox can take those GeoJSON objects and actually make a playable layer for us. And there's an integration directly with Unity. So the way it will work is we have all the property data, we pass that through to Mapbox. Mapbox makes us a map, and then we port it into Unity. And that essentially gives us our gaming level, our initial gaming level where we can walk through the environment, or in the case of a racing game, drive down the streets of Upland. So once we have that piece, then we add in our Xlander, which is our custom avatar. And we have, I actually have one person commissioned to make one through Fiverr, and then we actually have an open bounty. We are going to need lots of models. So please, if you are a 3D modeler, feel free to go after that bounty because we are going to need multiple base models just to give players a little bit of variety, as well as we want to have some things to be able to unlock and play with moving forward. So the core, that's the foundation of what we're building, right? And so in there you can see the map APIs and the actual property data. That's all publicly available. It's very easy to get, and they're going to switch up those APIs and give us easier access to it. But we're going to be storing that in our own database as well. And then just feeding the updates, because we do not want to be limited. One of the big things that I've seen blockchain games struggle with is, spoiler, the blockchain, right? That's the most complicated thing of building a blockchain game, the blockchain. So that's why UpX World isn't going to do that. UpX World is not a metaverse. It's a meta multiverse. And what that means is we're taking a metaverse and then infinitely slicing it, right? So we're taking the core data and then we're generating all of these different environments from it. But we're not manipulating the blockchain. We're not querying the blockchain every time to get it. This will use standard SQL databases, structured. It's what the industry uses. So we talk about what are the barriers to creating what we're doing, right? So that is the biggest thing is, well, can you create? You have this vision. Is it technically doable? Absolutely. Literally every piece of the technology exists today. So that's what we're working on, is putting those pieces together. We're getting the Xlanders created. So those will be our core 3D avatars. I actually created a really cool, and I think I showed this in one of the earlier AMAs, of actually pulling up Unity and seeing the Xenon atom object that we want to have. It's kind of like appear in game, and you'll be able to collect that. And then we'll be creating interior environments to the buildings, which again, those are fairly standard. We're not doing anything that doesn't already exist in the industry of the gaming world. Where it differs is that the underlying assets and concepts are now being derived from a metaverse or layer one assets that have the true ownership. So we are shifting the way that the gamification in Web3 works, because I personally do not believe that adding the functionality to the foundational metaverse is scalable. I see a lot of limitations in games like Sandbox and Decentraland, where they're opening up development and people are just piling on stuff into a single layer. And it gets, to me, it gets very kludgy. It gets very hard to track what's going on. Where do you want to go? What is the interface? You have this world that's spread out. It's very hard to know what you have of value. Your land kind of feels mixed because you're like, oh, well, I can't have this feature because I only have this feature on it. What we're doing is we're saying, once you own land, you can now create, if you have a neighborhood, you could create a spooky version of that neighborhood. You could create a racing version of that neighborhood. You can create a tower defense. You could create a skateboard. Like, you'll be able to build up. You'll be able to build vertically. All of these different meta phases on top of your neighborhood, your community, etc. So that's going to allow you to compound the value of those layer one assets, because every single one of those properties and buildings and decor and NFTs is then used throughout that entire stack. So that's the change in value proposition, as well as the fundamental change in the technology we're going to use. So I think what's really compelling about this is that we don't, so we're not really dependent on Upland. And what I mean by that is in outside of the escrow service, if we just collect all of the data and we replicate it all, right? We can use that to create games. Now, what we can't do is actually manipulate any of the layer one assets without an escrow account. And when I say that, what the primary reason that we need the escrow account for what we're doing is things like bringing in your UpX. So being able to pay for the games using UpX as a premium currency in UpX World, right? So that is where we really need the escrow because we don't want to be managing it outside. So there's been a lot of external solutions that we've seen that are really great. We see this a lot in like the Spark rental space, right, where you have these you either like transfer the UpX or things like that, but it's a very manual process. It's very labor intensive and burners and all this stuff are involved. And so with the escrow service, that eliminates that because then you can just go, yep, I authorize, I want to play this game. I want to put 1,000 UpX into my UpX World wallet, etc. Also, then you could, in theory, be able to exchange your goods or do other things with it. You could put, uh, honestly, like the first thing I just want to do with the escrow is just the UpX. We'll do some other stuff, but everything else then can just be verifying on the blockchain. So, for instance, racing. Let's say you want to make a racing game and you want to make it free. You could do that more or less today. Once you link, you have to be able to link the account or at least query the account to see what assets they have. But once you're able to link the account or verify that the account is who they are, and we already have ways of doing that, kind of janky. If you've ever done the verify your account where you change the value of an address and then it checks out on the chain, etc., you can then go, cool, what assets did you own? You can now do a race. I'm going to make a race with your car in this neighborhood. You could build that today. Like that's what I think there's currently a gap of understanding of like there is no need to wait for Upland to create some massive interaction with their layer one platform. And when we talk about how we're going to integrate in all of these other layer ones, so for instance, like Wax does not have an escrow account yet. And yeah, we would love to work with Jonah and the team at Wax to create a smart contract that we could leverage as an escrow account or an escrow API kind of thing. Sure, but in the meantime, it's very easy for us to link a Wax Cloud wallet, and then you go, okay, cool. I can verify that you have these assets that you say you have. So if you're going to play a game, if you're going to decorate your house, we can just check your wallet when you log in to make sure that that's still valid. If it's as long as it's not using for a premium purpose, that kind of account validation is really all you need to then create a secondary layer. I think the main reason that that's not happening a lot today is there is risk, right? So if you build all of this really cool stuff and it's 100% reliant on another organization or another development team's assets, that's a huge risk if you don't have trust in the underlying project. Obviously, as UpX World, we have a huge, we believe very much in Upland. We think that they have a very stable economy. They have the right asset management pieces in place. So it makes sense for us to start building as Upland as the foundation of what we're creating. So I hope that answers. Those were some of the questions that I've been seeing in the community and some of the discussions that I've been having with people. So I did want to address that in today's briefing to just kind of give that summary and hopefully give some context and answers to some of those questions. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, hey, it's Reckon. Very nice. Hey, Reckon. Nice that you could make it. We were having a very friendly debate in the Upland debate channel. So if you haven't checked it out, I think there's some good information. Reckon brings up some very, very good points, very completely valid. Essentially, show me the proof, right? Which is fair. and we are working on that. I would say our first, so from a timeline perspective, the data mining, working with Grom to have that done by September 1st is our goal. That takes time just because it's scraping millions of records into a structured database. So that takes time to scrape all those records, convert those records into our structured database and get it done. However, I have talked to Grom. We might be able to do some light previews of that here in the next couple weeks to get input. I would love to be able to do that. The first game, game one, I wanted to have, I didn't put it down here, is about mid-September is what I was looking at for that. And then October, November. So by the end of the year, our goal is about 3 games. Now, I want to be very clear that the first game, and I'm going to use that lightly, is more of a proof of concept. So the first game that's being commissioned, it's a $7,000 contract, and the contract, and in fact, I can even share it here. Let me pull it up. And that contract is to create a Unity game, and the Unity game will need to render a single upland property with a single upland building, and those assets and those coordinates are all available. So using the GeoJSON, and then having the Xlander, whether we might not have the models for the actual Xlander, so there's plenty of robot assets at the store, and that's fine for this purpose. Be able to walk around and collect Xenon. So the Xenon is the other piece that's very important to this, because Xenon is our in-game kind of currency, if you will. It's not a premium currency, it's what you collect while you play. So the Xenon atoms will pop up around the map, and you'll be able to walk around and collect them. And right now, there won't be any direct use for it, but that will be used for in-app purchases of non-premium items. We will actually, my goal is to have an event from November, maybe 1st, or as soon as we can get at least 3 games where you can collect Xenon, between November and then when we actually do our open beta. So right now we are in open alpha. This is going to be our our space trip, right? So for the next couple months, that's where we're at. We're in an open alpha. We are going to build the base and a couple of games. Before the end of the year, we'll have a worldwide competition of Xenon collection, and the Xenon collection competition I'm really excited about because it's going to be the first event that I'm aware of that's truly going to be city versus city. So as you collect the Xenon, you'll be able to donate it to power the metaphase portal generator that we need to create. And when you do that, you'll be able to select one of the upland cities that is out. And whatever city collects the most Xenon as a group will get the first city dedicated metaphase, which I think is super cool. So that will be all happening kind of this year. So that is the tentative plan. Foundational data, and then 3 games, about 3 games. Now, again, the first one's going to be very simple. You walk around a map, but it will also include going inside to the building. So there is a component. The Xlander needs to be able to enter the building, and there needs to be, a space that they're able to walk through that has at least 2 stories. So at least 2 floors that can either be stairs in the same level, like the same instance, or that you phase into another level. Either way, that'll be up to the actual designer. I'm curious what's actually easier to do in Unity. Okay, so let's see. I got some questions here. Oh, Scotch and Soda, I got to get you hooked up. We'll probably do some more subs here eventually. I like Botany Bay. Yes, if you didn't catch it, this is TY Joe Roll's Botany Bay submission. We are taking background submissions for the Living Quarters. That is one of these secret bounties that's currently out. some amazing work being done. I'll showcase them throughout the week and our different broadcasts. So thank you again. This one, this is pretty cool. And I think a lot of people are using these like auto generators, which is not technically against the rules at all. Where I think you can like put in things and the AI like creates pictures for you, which is cool. I'll probably select 1 or 2 winners in that. And maybe we need to have different categories of backgrounds to get a little bit of diversity here. I would love to see some even hand drawn or something like that as well. That isn't just computer generated, but keep the submissions up. It's great content and good, insights into what you think is kind of interesting or fun. So keep doing that. Netherlands in the house. Well, thank you, Venlo187. Welcome to the fun. Hello. Oh, hey, Land Rover. We are just talking about it. Land Rover is one of the people that's looking to get into Unity. So maybe we'll have like a Unity 101 learn with us. We're both learning some basics on Unity. It'd be fun to kind of do that as a community. We can try some different things out. Unity has some amazing tutorials and guides to really help us get started. Lots of pre-built assets and fun stuff. So I think it's the right platform for us to use. Plus, being mobile and web friendly is a huge plus. So you can easily tweak those settings. Also, it has a lot of the pre-built gravity mechanics and things like that. I mean, Unreal and other big engines obviously have that as well, but it's a perk, and I think it probably has the largest development community that's active right now. I believe it's actually significantly bigger than Unreal. Although the Unreal capabilities, when we start talking about like if it ever goes super high end, yeah, Unreal has obviously a lot of amazing things, but I think for the space we're playing in, Unity is the right platform. Shactalin in the house. Hey, Shactalin. All right. TY. Hey. All right. NFT architect. I need to. I don't know why I see the FT and then my brain goes to artifact, not architect. It's good the UpX will have a new platform to use it. Yeah. So again, we do want to offer utility for UpX, and it gives players. And the idea would be that the games can potentially earn money as well. We have to figure out what that balance is because obviously they're pay to play games, but we do want to have maybe a skills based. The PvP type games or neighborhood versus neighborhood, that's a lot easier to be able to then just take a fee and then have the winner of a PvP be able to get more than they put in. But when you're talking about, I don't know, let's just say you wanted to create Candy Crush, right? How do you monetize that in a way that makes sense where a player can pay in, but if they want to get paid out, we want to make sure that these aren't just games that there aren't just UpX syncs. Like that's not necessarily the purpose. It's just to have UpX syncs. There will be some of that, but ultimately we want to give players an opportunity to do some more fun stuff with their UpX and potentially grow their value of their Upland account through playing games and gamification. So yes, thank you. Oh yes, Scotch and soda is the mod. Whatever they say goes. I need to get her the right things. I visited many of your SF properties. Thank you, Uncle. All right. What's good, room? Boss Baby Purple in the house. What's good? I think everything's good. It's August somehow already. The summer has flown by. No pun intended on the flying, since we are getting ready to take off. Can we grow our own herb in Botany Bay? So I'm definitely in MMORPGs. I am a crafting fanatic. So crafting games and all those kind of secondary games are my crack. I love it. I love doing all that stuff. So I would say herbalism, those type of things. Yes. Herbs get a little tricky in the sense that Upland hasn't released their life token yet, and that's not confirmed that that's what they're calling it. But for the purposes of this conversation, we'll say that life token. So there's no plant or organic items in Upland today. That doesn't mean that we can't have a Botany Bay mini game where you have you can assign block explorers to kind of tend to plants very much like a mini Farmville, but you have to issue your block explorers to go tend to different herbs, and maybe we can figure out how to make that work. That could be fun. All right. Sword. All right. All right. I need to get Scotch her swords. Let me figure that out. Let's see here. Would love to see something like Ingress or Pokemon Go built on UpX World. Was too easy to spoof locations in real world, but something like this could be fun. So, so Kachow. This is really interesting because there is it's not, although maybe this could be one of our games. I wasn't planning on having it be part of 2022, but it's definitely something on the roadmap of essentially UpX World Go. And the way that that would work with Upland is that right now it's really hard to have. So if you're not familiar with Ingress and Pokemon Go, it's where you're kind of a real life AR, where you're standing, you can kind of look around and interact with your world, and there's like things that you can do, and as you walk, it walks in the world. Upland only has certain locations currently unlocked, so you can't have a true fully geo unlocked. However, and related to the spoofing piece, the way that I would create that and the way that we've outlined a game like this, because I do like the idea of players being able to move around, is imagine we create that, a metaphase of Upland, right? That you can then put yourself. So when you go into that metaphase, wherever your block explorer is in game, all of a sudden becomes locked to your phone location, right? So instead of it being like randomly walking around, you now control your block explorer or potentially your Xlander. I would imagine at first we'd probably just do like a 2D thing. And then as you walk, your block explorer would travel. What this allows us to do is then anybody anywhere in the world can all participate from the same location. So we could do a scavenger hunt and everybody starts at the same spot, no matter where you are in the world. And then as you move, your explorer moves, and then people can move around the space that they're in, but simultaneously they're kind of navigating a new city. So you might never take a trip to Rio, but with the experience that we create, you could go visit Rio in game and then jump to the metaphase that locks you in. And now maybe you hold up your augmented reality and you are viewing the streets of Rio. Maybe you're viewing the buildings that people are building. Maybe you can see other Xlanders or block explorers. So that's how we're looking to implement something like that, because I think it is a great technology. I was a big Pokemon Go player. I like the idea of being able to move around based on your phone. I hate spoofers, but in this case, we would essentially all be spoofing, because we would be spoofing the location of your block explorer, which I think is kind of cool, and it eliminates the spoofing of the locations because we're all geolocating to the same space. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much for that. Good cow. That's how you say it. It's good cow, like Lightning McQueen. Chow, chow. Yeah, very cool. Why can't you edit messages? I don't know. I have no idea why you can't edit messages in here. Maybe a setting that I have to fix. Keep in mind, this is a fresh instance of Twitch. We haven't modified any of the settings or features yet. So pretty sure they said they're calling STEM. Is that what they said? STEM, STEM, like whatever it is. STEM makes sense to some degree, I guess. Let's see. It's purple chrome. Oh, purple chrome. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's see. Can we merge or forge any item, evolve, transform, combine? Um, yes and no. So there, one thing I really do want to stress: UpX World is, and it's going to sound like a broken record, but we're not a metaverse. So when you start talking about merging items and stuff like that, that's a lot of what happens in the metaverse because they're trying to, consolidate NFTs and stuff like that, and forging items. That's more of a layer one thing. That's not to say that there aren't going to be elements but it's going to be more tied into a meta phase. So, for instance, let's say we have a rogue like, which is one of my favorite genres in general, roguelike deck building more specifically. But let's just say it's a roguelike action game. There would be weapons and items and things like that that you'd be able to level up, but it would be very specific to that gaming instance. Those would not be things that you could bring elsewhere necessarily, right? So those would be even more specific to that meta phase. Now, premium items, like say block explorers, which you have as companions. Now those you could, I mean, not evolve or transform, but certainly level up. So we are looking again to leverage experience and skill sets for as many of the different assets as it makes sense. Block explorers is definitely one of those things where having a variety of skills and attributes tied to block explorers and tracked can be very valuable. And those skills might be transferable between games. One of the people I was talking to, and I won't give too many spoilers of some martial arts, say. So let's say that you were training, I trained my turtle to be a great karate chop champion. Wacha. So he leveled up his karate chopping, and now maybe I can take that to another game that also has martial arts and be able to leverage that same skill set. But those would be on premium items, which would be, again, NFTs that are taken from layer one, if that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, countering. Yeah, that's true, right? Because what we are looking to do is really empower the community. So when we talk about item creation and stuff like that, that would be really done at layer one and then empowered with in-app purchases in layer two, which would be account bound, likely aren't merging or transforming that. Oh, thank you, DK Dog. It is courtesy of Tiwajo Roll. Nice. All right. Well, when and if that Pokemon Go happened, I have the perfect location. Look around Rio for what I'm talking about. Okay. I hear you, architect. I'd be very curious. Oh, wait, are you the one that has that insane cathedral thing? I saw somebody advertising. It looked gorgeous. Some ridiculously beautiful building. Okay. So how are we doing on time? Got about halfway through the stream here. And so I will open it up to other questions. I'm trying to see if there's any other content or topics. Boarding event, boarding event, boarding event. One more day. We voted yesterday that we aren't extending time. We are closing the doors. I'll probably do the door closing tomorrow, where we will then lock down the boarding questionnaire. And we might open up another one, but that will be just to get people to Xlander status. No more Genesis Xlanders will be handed out. That title will not be handed out after the boarding doors are closed. So I really hope that you aren't watching this, in 3 days and go, oh my gosh, I missed it. So that would be sad. But don't worry, there's going to be plenty of other fun titles and things for you to get, But Genesis Xlander is going to be a really good one. All right. No change of mind. Yep. All right. So let me just go check. I do want to run down. That was one thing. So I'm going to open this up to the community here, and you all can tell me what you think. Let me just check in as well to make sure I haven't missed anything in our Discord here. Hey, Rye, yes. I don't know if Rye is in here. Mentioned it. Everyone, we just want to make sure that everyone gets notified that we don't miss anything. All right, so let's talk about real quick. I'm going to run through the open bounty board, and then I also want to address a concern which I think is valid and might cause me to change a little bit about how the bounty board works. So I've had some feedback, especially on the bigger bounties. It does take a lot of effort. The 3D models, specifically for the Xlander and the Embassy, which are both several $100 bounties, right? I think that's a bit high. I set the threshold for the bounties at about $1,000. I think I'm going to move the bounties down to 100 and less. So if it's under $100, we'll do it as a bounty. If it's over $100, I think I'm going to start converting those to contracts. And so if you missed the update yesterday, bounties are meant to be semi-competitive and fun, and everything that you create for them, there's going to be more opportunity to reuse it or get the content or anything like that. It should be more fun and not as like, holy cow, I really want to, get this money, because it's a tremendous amount of money. Or it's several $100s, but it's a lot of work. Both the Xlander and the Embassy models are probably going to, anybody who submits for those that meets the criteria is likely going to get paid out on those. Even if it's already been claimed, we are going to need tons of Xlander models. So we're going to be very open to collecting those. And that the Xlander model specifically is, again, where we're going to have the opportunity for that premium in-app purchase connection. So after we get the base model and say special editions for Genesis Xlander model, what? Just saying, if you didn't think that the Genesis Xlanders weren't going to have a special model that was available to them, well, I'm here to tell you that they will have a special model that is available to them. And then we'll have the foundational model. But then there's the opportunity to create premium models and accessories. And those, in addition to potentially having an initial cash payout, would also offer the opportunity to be offered as an in-app purchase through UPX World, where then you would get a corresponding NFT that's yours to own, and then that is in the database linked to the in-app purchase. So every time somebody makes an in-app purchase, you get part of that. Much like collecting interest on your house, you could then go, much like collecting interest on a property in Upland, you could go see all of the assets that you have that are linked to in-app purchases, and then be able to collect those funds, thus decentralizing some of the revenue streams from UPX World, which is, to me, one of the most exciting things for the community. So again, that being said, the embassy models, the goal is to have those models be built in Upland, and so that will represent UPX World inside of Upland. So these will be embassies in the different cities. We'll likely start the first embassy will likely be in San Francisco. Although, who knows? Maybe we make that part of the content. Oh no, I'm trying to think of timeline-wise. Hopefully we'll have an embassy in before the start of the year. So we won't be able to include it as part of that contest. But it could be a prize for maybe one of the second prizes, is that we'll build an embassy in the second place city. And so there can be multiple embassy models. I'm okay with having them be slightly different in each area. That might be kind of fun. similar to how stadiums, right? So when you think about all of these cool stadiums that the NFLPA is ultimately building, those will have unique models. The embassies really, I wouldn't mind them having like a theme or cohesive kind of look and feel, but ultimately they can be different in each city or region. So that is kind of the high level. So we do still have the Bounty one, which is the Xlander models, 3D models. That's going to be used for the Unity avatar. So if you're if you're a model maker and creator, be sure to check that out. The next one is Bounty 6, which is the embassy that we had talked about. 7. Ooh, oh, and I see Dak has submitted for number 7 here. Very cool. How do I, it's the easiest way to show this. Man, I don't know if I can I, well, let me share an image here. No, probably not. No. All right. So Dak, if you haven't seen it in the Bounty 7, so everything also, if you're not familiar with threads inside of Discord, really powerful tool, helps organize, especially with something like the bounties, organize them. So Bounty 7 is bottoms up. It is technically a secret bounty where you had to be part of the roundtable, but we've talked about it publicly enough now that it is designing the beverage. So what's the official beverage of the Genesis vessel? And so Dak's submission, allow me to introduce you to, oh my goodness, Eleanor Hamlet Galactic Stout. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Elsie for short. And his submission is the dark stout that takes its name from the stars was first introduced into a little brewery in an old region of Canada. Once considered a strange brew, it quickly grew in popularity. As Earth evolved beyond this planetary core, other ingredients were added that gave it cosmic appearance. Its golden head can shine like a sunrise in a darkly lit bar, and its changing cosmic darkness hides a bounty of flavors unique and lost to the original brewers. Now synthesized based on the last known recipe, the LC is a favorite among all manner of, I don't know that word, imbibers? Imbibers? I'm guessing that is, I have no idea what that means. OOC, some may pick up some references to Strange Brew, the movie. I considered it appropriate anyway. Okay, cool. So honestly, what do you guys think? I think that might be the winner. I'm not even mad at it. We might just close this now. I might just say, here you go. Dak, congratulations. That is a beautiful looking brew. That image is super, super cool. And done. That's how easy it is. All right. So Bounty 7 is now closed. Congrats, Dak. That is super cool. I really like the description. The image is absolutely gorgeous. I'm both repulsed and intrigued at the same time. If you haven't checked it out, post it. I'll make a larger post and put it somewhere. But there it is. Elsie is the official brew, the Eleanor Hamlet Galactic Stout. Jeez. Well, what a beauty. Fantastic. Oh, wait. Call the drink. Oh, elixir. Well, now there might be another opportunity for elixir because I like elixir in general. That's it. I like that word. So keep that close, purple, because again, like that's the beauty of this is okay. That's the official brew of our mission, right? That's of the vessel. But hey, we need a whole bar. There's no reason you can't have the purple elixir, right? Hey, make it. Let's make it happen. This is the fun, right? So now you create that. You can make it, an item that we can then make an in-app purchase. You have it. You create it. Done. There's so much you can do. All right. Cool. So let's see what else we got here. SF, baby. Yeah, dude, SF. If you're not, I mean, I obviously we have some originals that are probably partial to SF. I'm telling you, when this comes out, I think SF's biggest competition in this, like when we talk city versus city, I'm really curious what cities. I think Queens is probably the only city I think could get maybe Chicago. Queens or Chicago is probably the only two cities I think that could give San Francisco a run for its money as far as being able to rally community involvement. There's some really strong communities and nodes in San Francisco, obviously, but Queens has like a coordinated citywide effort of communities and nodes, which is being led by Maze and team. So that could be really they could actually dominate. I'm a little scared if they actually have as coordinated as it could be. They could actually just dominate. All right, let's see here. Now we need the we need to get emoji. Oh wait, you're not being ignored. No. You never ignore. You can't ignore more cheese. No one's ignoring more cheese. You all right. Everybody, simmer down. Now we're all friends. We're all friendly Xlanders here. All right. So that was Bounty 7, Bounty bottoms up. Bounty 8, backgrounds. So if you have a background for one of the 6 quarters, the living quarters, which are, I just want to, the Galactic Gamer, so making a really cool gaming nerd type room. The Crypto Kitty Corner. I'm very interested to see if somebody integrates like kind of a mix of like, imagine like crazy cat lady meets crazy crypto bro kind of vibe. I'm curious if somebody could, came up with something like that. Artist arc, that's really open to anything like artists. What can you do there? It's pretty unlimited. Botany Bay, lots of submissions for Botany Bay. Would love to see a radish in one of them for our boy Radish Head, but we'll see. Social Center. I have no idea social center. Probably, honestly, could even be like a bar or someplace that people want to socialize. So maybe make that. And then socially selective center, and this is for those who are maybe a little bit more quiet and reserved. That could be a pretty straightforward, but also get creative. See what you come up with. I'll be showcasing them throughout the week and throughout our streams. So be sure to pop that in on bounty number 8 for the background. Bounty 9. So I've had some great submissions. Honestly, more cheese. I really like your animated X. For the Bounty 9 is for the Genesis Xlander badge, and that is actually the badge that's going to go on the Discord. So next to your name. So when you see it, it's very, very small. I want to say it's a 10 by 10, 10 pixels by 10 pixels, but it might even be smaller than that. And so what I'm looking for here is, and there's some really good ones. It's just that when you shrink them down, you lose a lot of the fidelity. So really, like just like a G and an X stylized in a way that it really pops, I think would be ideal there and would claim that particular bounty. And that bounty is for a lifetime VIX membership. So VIX is our very important Xlander. That will be part of a future premium package, but they will lifetime means that's it. You get it forever. These are not going to be something that are handed out very easily. I want to create some at the beginning because you guys are here first, but know that future bounties will likely be like a month of VIX, right? Or like 3 months of VIX. These lifetime memberships are going to be very rare. I rewarded some of the people that have been around the previous projects or previous iterations of UpX World with that from a loyalty perspective, and I will be rewarding them periodically for these first bounties. But then after that, it's going to be very, very scarce. That's not going to be something that's going to be easy to get. So I would say if that's appealing to you, then yeah, I do like D. I never say their name. D's Jack. I like the X. That's just a cool Xlander one, honestly. I would use it just as an Xlander one, but I'm looking for a GX. So let's try that for the Genesis Xlander. That's Bounty 9, Bounty 10, Xlander Healthcare. So this is another secret bounty. We were talking about nanobots in one of the earlier streams as being potential healthcare. I think we were talking about, no drugs, anything like that. Everything in UpX World is going to be very much, maybe not PG, but PG-13. There's not going to be any drugs. I guess alcohol makes it automatically PG-13. There'll probably be obviously alcoholic beverages, but no hard drugs, no gambling, nothing explicit, anything like that, right? We're creating a mass market platforming game. So we want to make sure that we don't alienate ourselves from any future branding partners or create a situation where we aren't able to be listed or sponsored by any brand who's hesitant about the content of what is being created. So that will be a key element throughout any of these submissions. Is please keep that in mind that this is designed to be a game for everyone, and we aren't going to have any of that kind of explicit content that isn't really what we want to do. No gambling either. I don't know if I mentioned that in there. And that the gambling piece is more about regulation as well as interacting with Upland. So we aren't going to be doing anything related to gambling because that puts us in a very difficult position for a lot of different reasons. So if there are other projects that are doing gambling or X-rated content and that's your bucket, cool. I would definitely go check those out. That's not UpX World. So Bounty 10 is nanobots. This is an opportunity to create it was more of a fun concept of like, well, how do the Xlanders regenerate, or what's their kind of health protocol? And it was suggested that it's nanobots. But then it was like, ooh, well, you could have like good nanobots and bad nanobots. So that might just be kind of a thematic element added to UpX World. So if you have some ideas on what these nanobots might look like, or how they might function, feel free to drop it in Bounty 10. We didn't really decide what the bounty reward was for that because it really depends on, if you just do like a sketch of a nanobot, or like you have a fully functioning little nanobot or an army or something. So lots of good stuff there. Let's see. Let me catch up on chat here. Oh my goodness, you guys are chatty. Let's see. Drinking. I'm the OG crypto cat, but I chose gamer. That's fair. Yeah, the crypto kitty corner is. We could go see. I'm curious. I'll give you an update on that. Let's see. Onboarding. 84 gamers, 27 cats, 53 artists, 84. Oh, gamers and Botany Bay are tied up at 84 each. Interesting. Social center, 30 people. I wonder how many of those are the socials that are in here. And then the socially selective center, 73. So we have a lot of botany and gaming enthusiasts, as well as socially selective people. Those are our big spots. So that's cool to see kind of how people self-identify. And this is, while this was just a fun thing and it has led us to some many bounties and creating kind of this lore. These are elements that we would like to maybe, build out more or just use as opportunities to learn more about you as our community, because what we're building is a game for the community. And this is not like any, I know a lot of you are coming from the crypto space. This is not a crypto project. It's a layer 2 gaming platform that is going to empower the crypto space, but we aren't going to just be pumping out NFTs, and there isn't going to be a land sale or anything like that. We are creating a game as a community, and that will be an opportunity for us to create revenue for each other and to build value of the layer 1 assets we already own. The NFT projects we're already a part of. That is the value of what we're creating, is an opportunity to generate more interest in those projects or more utility to those NFTs and include them in a fun, gamified way. So there we go. There's that. We got 3 minutes left. I just want to make sure that I'm caught up here on chat. Roman with columns in a pool. That could be cool. I don't know what that's for, but I like. Oh, pool shaped like an X, dude. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Coding. I said the Commodore 64. Nice. Oh, for the social. Oh, dang. That would be cool, boss baby. I like the idea of like social pool party with an X pool. Dude, you might even get me to switch from gamer. I'm not even a social person, but if Social Center has an X-shaped pool, what with a swim-up bar where I can get the Elsie drink? Come on now, that'd be super cool. What happened with the X badge? The X badge is still open. It's the Genesis. It's for the Genesis Xlander. So you have your X is super cool. I got to figure out some way to use it. I might even just make it an emote. I really like your pixelated X. There's definitely gonna be I got to find some way to use it. But for the bounty, I'm looking for a Genesis Xlander badge, so like a GX badge for the Genesis Xlanders specifically. Let's see here. I'll hurt a man for lifetime. VIX says, you don't even hurt, man. Just go do one of the bounties. Create a cool a small, it's got to be super small, but still like pop GX of some kind, something to represent the Genesis Xlander. Honestly, it doesn't even have to be GX. I don't want to put people, like, it can be just a simple symbol or cool design that really pops as a very small icon. That's the thing, is it has to really pop when it's small, and that's tricky. I can't do it. Look at these fingers. You think I can't do anything small? Unbelievable. Cool idea, but it's complicated to draw. Well, that's why you're an architect, man, right? No hard drugs. No hard drugs. Can I get off the ship? Bye, Rye. Bye, Rye. Let's see here. Yeah, it'll be PG. Yeah, we'll have drinks, but again, like, it'll be like space and thematic drinks. It's not going to be like hard liquor, be like, yo, pass the Jack Daniels. Like, we're robots in this scenario. Like, you don't really drink alcohol, so it's got to be like fun other stuff, and that just gives us more flexibility to have crazy concoctions. Who doesn't want a coffee liqueur and and I don't even know. Do they make pineapple flavored oil, like crude oil, for your joints. I got to get, my pints of oil in. Do they make anyway? That's all possibility here. All right. And we are at time. And more cheese. I will find a way. Are you not already lifetime? I have no doubt. We'll find a way to get you lifetime more cheese. Don't you worry about it. Because you have tons of talent. I'll find something. And you generated the backpack and stuff like that. So I wouldn't worry about that. So here is. Oh well. Okay. How about this? Here you go. You guys want another opportunity? Here it is. Here is today's secret bounty that is just for those who have stayed to this, or who watch it later, or who can figure it out through the context of the bounty. Let's make a flag. So, Xlanders, we don't have a planet yet. We're leaving Earth tomorrow, uh, but I think it's important that we have a flag. Maybe it'll go on our embassy. Maybe it'll definitely be off of our ship. We'll hang it in the walls. Today's bounty is creating a flag for Xlanders. So, what is our flag? And it can be for UpX World. So tomorrow we'll talk more about what it means as we search for UpX World. So we do have a mission. We are looking for something in space. I'll go into that in a little bit more of a role-playing element tomorrow in tomorrow's session. So be sure to join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun as we launch the vessel, and we have some fun with that. But today's mission, let's make a flag. So I'm going to put that bounty up here momentarily, and that'll be the secret bounty, and it'll be for a lifetime VIX membership. So be sure to get on that. I can't wait to see what the community does. And until tomorrow, this is Thank Me Later saying thank you now for everything and for being here today. And I will catch you on Discord if you have any follow-up questions. Cheers. And now I'll edit this part out for YouTube, and then you have to like awkwardly look for like the end broadcast button. So awkward. And then you have to like sit here and look at the camera like, okay, I got to look at the camera, but then secretly